Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is KEVINTSOLOMON. I'm an actor. You probably recognize me from my role as Tokumbo in The Origin Madam Koiko showing on Netflix, or MJ in Kidnapped currently streaming on Showmax. Now, fun fact for a lot of people that do not know, I'm also a film editor. I don't really advertise it much because it's not really something I like to tell people that I can do so that they don't forget I'm an actor. I've literally participated in the post-production process of every single film that I've acted in. I actually edited Kidnapped, Fatal Obsession, and Direct Message showing on Africa Magic. Now, I'm making this very niche specific video for editors that are editing for Africa Magic or that plan to edit films for Africa Magic, because I think it's something that they need to know. A tutorial I haven't really seen anywhere on the internet is one that details how to properly export a broadcast master multi-channel media for Multichoice Africa Magic. It turns out that a lot of video editors and post-production studios tend to fail QC a lot because they aren't sending the right files with proper codecs, especially around the aspect of sound. Like, the audio channels is just scattered and everywhere, and sometimes you don't even send the right file that has the right audio channels for them to say, okay, this is good, let's go. And Africa Magic tends to send your files back to you with details on how you failed QC, and most of that failed QC is usually around how you did not export your sound properly, and that they can't separate the stems from like the film and everything, so you have to export it again. And then as the editor, you'd be confused, like, this is good now, I exported it properly, but you really didn't, which is actually ironic because Africa Magic actually sends every production and editor a document that details their requirements for your deliverables. But the document can be overwhelming, which is understandable, because even I myself freaked out the first time I read the document, because I was like, so you guys, it's not normal H264 and MP4 APU is to collect. It's a different game entirely. I mean, every network and broadcasting should I say entity has their own requirements. Netflix has their own, which is a topic for another video. If you guys want it, I can make a video on that. But yeah, Africa Magic has their own standards and how they want your deliverables to be so that they can properly show it on their channel. Because they have a server. If you think it's one human being that is looking at everything, it's not a human being. No. There's like this computer system that goes through frame by frame your film, and it will detect when you have done rubbish and it will send it back to you. But today I'm going to simplify that document and show you how to properly export your file so that you don't fail QC in that aspect again. Well, not today specifically, but you get what I'm saying. Now, I'm going to be doing this on Premiere Pro, which is my preferred editing software. But if you guys want a tutorial on how to do it on DaVinci or Avid or any other software, let me know in the comments and I will see if I can get to it. So essentially in the document, there's a section that says audio requirements, and then they listed like the 8 channels on how you should put it. Now, on the timeline, typically you would receive the sound mixes from your sound engineer, the dialogue, the effects, the music, and then the full master print. Everything is going to be here. And because Africa Magic has said that you should arrange the stems in a certain way on the audio tracks, you would think that all you need to do is to just drag your master left and put it in number 1, master right, put it in number 2, and then drag everything else into the timeline like that. But that's really not the case, because if you do it this way and you export it, it's going to export as a stereo track and it's not going to separate the audio. Africa Magic is just going to have a stereo track and they're not going to be able to dub it or do whatever they want to do with it because they need the stems. So this is what you're going to have to do. First of all, you're going to need to create a new sequence. Hit Command or Control N, because we're all geniuses here. I don't have to tell you how to create a new sequence, because that's not what we're trying to do here. But you're going to have to create a new sequence and leave all these sequence presets, because you're going to still have to do your own editing to it. Head over to Settings, and in this editing mode, you're going to change it to Custom. Time based is 25 frames per second, because that is the standard for Africa Magic. The frame size 1920 by 1080, you can leave that. Pixels aspect ratio, you can leave that as well. Square pixels, that's fine. Field progression, no fields. Progressive scan. Display format 25 frames per second. Working color space Rec 709. Everything else here you can leave them. You don't really need to touch them. They are not your business. Your business is in the tracks. So you're going to have to don't go and press OK yet, because if you press OK, it's going to just create a normal sequence like that, and you're not going to be able to have control over the audio tracks and to be able to put these audio tracks in how you're supposed to put them. So you're going to have to head over to tracks first. Now in tracks, this is very simple here. All you have to do is on the mix here, you're going to have to change this to multi-channel. It's in stereo now, we have to change to multi-channel. The number of channels, you're going to increase it to 8. And then over here, we already have 4 tracks, which is the standard. I think whenever you create a new sequence, it just creates for audio track standard, but we don't want standard tracks. Okay, so we're gonna have to first of all add a couple more tracks to make them 8. Then in the track types, if you're using a newer Premiere Pro, like from 2023, I think, I don't know about, I think 2022 was also among, but if you're using newer Premiere Pro, it will show standard, but other previous versions of Premiere Pro will show stereo. The same thing, leave it like that, don't touch it. In the output assignment, you're going to click on all of them, and so this is kind of tricky. You have 8 tracks that are going to show on the timeline once we're done with this, but we need to pair them, because if you look at the track name, audio 1 and audio 2, you can also rename them, by the way, but there's no time for that, but you can actually do that if you want to. You can rename them, but you have to pair them. Audio 1 and audio 2 are going to be the master mix. Everything is mixed together, yeah. Audio 3 and 4 is going to be your music. 5 and 6 is going to be the sound effect, ambience, all that stuff. And then 7 and 8 is going to be the dialogue. That is how Africa Magic does it. But you need to pair it, because 1 is going to be the left of the final mix and 2 is going to be the right of the final mix. Vice versa, everything like that. You get it? Yeah, Igbo are smart. I don't know if I need to say the rest like that. So this is what's going to happen. The output assignment here, we're going to make sure that so this is audio track 1, and then it's on 1 and 2, which is fine. So we're going to leave it at that. The audio track 2 is on 1 and 2, which is also fine. Everything else is still paired to 1 and 2, but we don't want that. This is track 3, so we're going to pair it to 3 and 4 and uncheck 1 and 2. And then obviously for 4, we're going to do the same thing and pair it with 3 and 4. For 5, is this 5? Yeah. For 5, we're going to pair it with track 5 and 6, remove it from 1 and 2. And 6, 2, we put it on 5 and 6, remove it from 1 and 2. From 7, same thing, put it on 7 and 8, remove it from 1 and 2. And then 8 will be on 7 and 8 and remove it from 1 and 2. Everything is paired properly. Love it. That's not all though, I will not finish. The pan balance too. So audio track 1 is going to be the left for full mix. So we'll pan it to the left, fully to the left, minus 100. If you don't want to be tapping it, just press minus 100. While audio track 2 is the right, so we're panning it to the right, move it to 100. Everything is the same thing. Track 3 to the left, track 4 to the right, track 5 to the left, track 6 to the right, track 7 to the left, and track 8 to the right. And that is pretty much it. Video tracks here, you can leave it because it's really just 1 track or 2 tracks at most, because depending on how you've already gotten your video mix from the color grade and visual effects, everything is going to be together already, so you don't really need to do anything about the video track. But I'm going to use 1 video track for the purpose of this video. So this is all done, we're good, I like it. You can choose to save the preset so you don't have to create this every time. So I'm going to call this sequence Multichoice multi-track sequence. I don't know how to spell sequence. Description, I'm going to describe it anything you want for Africa Magic. I press OK. When you save the preset, it's going to save in the sequence preset here. So whenever you want to create a new sequence for Africa Magic to export your deliverables, when you're ready to deliver, you can just go here and create it. So we're done. I like it. I'm going to call this sequence Kidnapped, because that's the name of the film, _ final master. Now Africa Magic has a naming convention that your product has to have, and it's going to be listed in the documents that they send to you, so you might have to check it or consult your commissioning editor for how you are supposed to name your file. But this is just for the sequence, so we're going to just click on OK. And if we click on our final master, we have our sequence here ready to go. 8-channel sequence. If you see here in the mix, it says 8. So that's our sequence. So now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to first open the kidnapped video file here, and I'm going to drag the video, only the video, into the timeline. We have that. Is good. I like it. Everything should be fine because it's fine. Yeah. So now on the audio tracks, now this is where we now get busy. We've already established that the master print is supposed to be, the master print left is supposed to be on track 1, audio track 1. Master print right goes to audio track 2. The music left goes to audio track 3. Music right goes to audio track 4. Then the effects, that's the sound effect and Foley and all of that. The left one goes to track 5. The effect right goes to audio track 6. Then the dialogue left goes to track 7, and then the dialogue right goes to track 8. And essentially we are good to go. That's everything you need to know about this. But we're not done, because now we need to export it. So we're going to go into the export tab, command or control M to export media, or just go to file, export media. This is now where you need to do extra work. So first of all, the file naming convention, you just have to follow the normal file naming convention that African Magic requires you to follow. So your UID code underscore, the name of the film underscore. If it's a series, the season, no, the year, the season, then the episode, then HD. Underscore would separate everything. That's how you're actually supposed to name your files, but this all depends on your project. So it's between you and your commissioning editor. So I'm not going to touch the name for now. I'm just going to leave it as Kidnapped Final Master 1. Now, for the presets, you don't have any business with the presets. What you have business with is the format, and you are going to look for MXF OP1A, which is the format that African Magic requires you to export for. You can open the video settings and just cross check to make sure everything is fine. The video codec, we're here in Africa, we use PAL, so 50 PAL is what you would use. 50 PAL 422, it's right there already, so I don't need to touch it, but you can open it and see the other options, but make sure that you see XD Cam HD 50 PAL 422. That is what African Magic will require from you. The rest, you don't really need to touch it. Full HD, frame rate, 25 frames per second, everything is fine. Now, the real deal is the audio. So you have to go into the audio settings and make sure that the channels is on 8. Not 2, not 4, not 6, 8, because that is what African Magic requires from you, 8 channels. And sample size, I mean, I use 24, so I don't really know what the difference is between 16 and 24. I will have to consult my sound engineer to figure out what that really means and what the difference is, but I really just use 24 because my mind just tells me that if the number is high, then the quality might be high. So yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. Everything is done, and all you need to do is just hit export and you're good to go. I'm not going to hit export now because I've already exported the film and it's going to be really large and I have it. But what I'm going to do is to show you the exported file. So right here is the exported file for Kidnapped. So watch what happens when I drag this into an empty timeline on the Premiere project. You see it imported the whole file with all 8 channels separately. So now African Magic can use this however they chose this and dub it when they need to, or just do whatever they want. It's how they need it to be, and everything plays smoothly and well and it's fine. So at least for sound, you should not fail QC after going through this route. The only thing that will now make you fail QC is if you have a lot of black screens in your film and the black screens stay for more than 2 seconds, or the audio just peaks at certain levels that is not at African Magic standards. So you still need to go through the document and make sure that some things are in check. But for the most part, this is really the section that makes people feel QC, that I have noticed that people usually feel QC on, and it was one of the first few things that I feel QC on, and I decided to do a video on it. And that is it. Pretty much short and easy, almost very simple, but it looks complicated depending on who you are and your level of editing by the time you are watching this video. But that is pretty much it. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comments below, because I don't really know how to end a YouTube video like this. This is not really what I used to do normally, but I hope I can do more. I think I can do more. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or something else that you think you'd like me to do a tutorial on, let me know in the comments down below, and I think I'll see you in another video. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, boy.